Mr. Toad took a last look at the badger and softly left the room. He went out of the house, shutting the front door. The rabbits heard his footsteps over the tunnel. He ran round behind the house, intending to undo the rope, in order to let fall the pailful of water upon Tommy Brook. "I will wake him up with an unpleasant surprise," said Mr. Toad. The moment he had gone, Tommy Brook got up in a hurry. He rolled Mr. Toad's dressing gown into a bundle, put it into the bed beneath the pail of water instead of himself, and left the room also, grinning immensely. He went into the kitchen, lighted the fire, and boiled the kettle. For the moment, he did not trouble himself to cook the baby rabbits. When Mr. Toad got to the tree, he found that the weight and strain had dragged the knot so tight that it was past untying. He was obliged to gnaw it with his teeth. He chewed and gnawed for more than 20 minutes. At last, the rope gave way with such a sudden jerk that it nearly pulled his teeth out and quite knocked him over backwards. Inside the house there was a great crash and splash, and the noise of a pail rolling over and over, but no screams. Mr. Toad was mystified. He sat quite still and listened attentively. Then he peeped in at the window. The water was dripping from the bed. The pail had rolled into a corner. In the middle of the bed under the blanket was a wet flattened something, much dinged in the middle where the pail had caught it, as it were across the tummy. Its head was covered by the wet blanket, and it was not snoring any longer. There was nothing stirring and no sound, except the drip-drop, drop-drip of water trickling from the mattress. Mr. Toad watched it for half an hour. His eyes glistened. Then he cut a caper, and became so bold that he even tapped at the window. But the bundle never moved. Yes, there was no doubt about it. It had turned out even better than he had planned. The pail had hit poor old Tommy Brook and killed him dead. "I will bury that last person in the hole which he has dug. I will bring my bedding out and dry it in the sun," said Mr. Toad. "I will wash the tablecloth and spread it on the grass in the sun to bleach. And the blanket must be hung up in the wind, and the bed must be thoroughly disinfected, and aired with a warming pan and warmed with a hot water bottle. I will get soft soap and monkey soap and all sorts of soap, and soda and scrubbing brushes and Persian powder, and carbolic to remove the smell. I must have a disinfecting. Perhaps I may have to burn sulphur." He hurried round the house to get a shovel from the kitchen. "First, I will arrange the hole, then I will drag out the person in the blanket." He opened the door. Tommy Brook was sitting at Mr. Toad's kitchen table, pouring out tea from Mr. Toad's teapot into Mr. Toad's teacup. He was quite dry himself and grinning, and he drew the cup of scalding tea all over Mr. Toad.